Welcome to the fastest stop in town. Today we're going to Masechtas Rosh Hashana Daf Yud. We are going to begin on Tes Amud Beis, 4 lines from the bottom by the 2 dots. Tanabana. Echad hanoiteya, whether a person is engaged in planting, for that matter, Echad hamavrich, a person who bends a tree branch down, Echad hamarkiv, a person who grafts the branches together. In all these different situations, if this took place Erev Shmias, right before the year of the Shemitah year, but it was Shloshim Yoim Lifnei Rosh Hashana, it was 30 days before, because it's already been so far away, that is okay. Therefore, Alta Lo Shana, first of all, it counts as a year, says Rashi. Kivan Shegi Yom Echad B'Tishrei, once it's the first of Tishrei, which has already been over 30 days that went by, Alta Lo Shana L'Minyan Shnei Arla. Because we know that a tree is allowed to eat its fruits for the first 3 years. So the question is, when does it begin? So the first year will already count from 30 days before Tishrei, so now it's the second year already, even though only a month has gone by. Furthermore, you're allowed to also keep it on the Shemitah year. However, if it was within 30 days before within 30 days of Rosh Hashana, then Lo Shana, that doesn't count because it has been 30 days, it doesn't count as a full year. As far as the tree, it's not year number 2. And also Kaiman B'Shvias. This produce needs to be uprooted and it's not allowed to, you cannot keep it. Says Rashi, Vim Erev Shviasi Asul Kaimo, Mishum Toisefes Shvias Shemay Stephen Mechal Kodesh. As we saw in yesterday's daf, there's an Inyan of Toisefes, of adding on, so therefore the adding on, according to this, is the 30 days spot. And therefore, you're not allowed to keep Shemitah, rather it has to be uprooted. Okay, let's now continue to Yud Amud Aleph. Uperos Netiya, when it comes to the fruits of planting, Zu Asurin, they are still Asur, even though it's the 4th year, you're in the 4th year, Ad Tu B'Shvat. Imul Arla, Arla. So we know when it comes to Arla, after the 3 years, so can you now eat the fruits? No, you have to wait until Tu B'Shvat. V'im Rivoi, and if it's for regarding Netar Rabbi, so it's the same din. After the 3 years, you have to wait an extra year. That next year is the year in which you're allowed. It's called Netar Rabbi, and similar to Meiser Sheni, you have to bring it to Yerushalayim and eat it there, B'Kedushas Meiser. So Mina Hanimili. For the Gemara, how do we know? How do we know what? Says Rashi, Shishanos Arla Urvai Nimshachin Le'eser Peros Hachanutin Kodim Tu B'Shvat. How do we know that these fruits, that after they have already budded and they're already complete, and that you're not allowed to still eat these fruits, even though it's already 3 years gone by, until Tu B'Shvat comes? So again, you have 3 years of Arla, so you still have to wait until Tu B'Shvat. How do we know that? That's what it means. So it's possible it's the name of Rabbi Yanai, based on the following pasuk. The pasuk says, Uvashana haravias, in the 4th year, Uvashana hachamishis, in the 5th year, says Rashi, Vav moisiv al inin rishon. So there's actually over here an extra vav, and therefore it's coming to add on to something. So what do we learn out here? That palmim shivravias v'dainasura mishum arla. Even though it's possible that we're now into the 4th year, it's still aser until Tu B'Shvat comes. Palmim shachamishas v'dainasura mishum ravoi. That even though 4 years have gone by, but until Tu B'Shvat comes, you're not allowed to partake of it. And it's not Netar Rabbi. So Lema Delok Rameir. This whole notion, L'chaira, is not like the sheet of Rameir. Says Rashi, going back to what we said before, that the cutoff is 30 days. If it's less than 30 days, then it's considered to be like Toisefes Shvias, and it doesn't count. So L'chaira, it's not like the sheet of Rameir. How do we see that? So we say as follows. The he actually says that even one day is already considered to be like the next year. So therefore, l'chayro, when it comes to Arla, it shouldn't be 30 days. It should be one day also. How do we see that he holds that the sanya par ha'amr b'tayra? When it talks about a par, says Rashi, if you cost a par ben bakar, when nikra par b'pachas megibel shanim. A par is 3 years. Stam ben esrim v'arba chaydish. V'yom echad divra meir. What does he say? 24 months and a day. So it means 2 years and a day. But what do you mean? I thought it's supposed to be 3 years. So because it went through 2 years, that one extra day, according to Rabbi Meir, that's Yom, that extra day is considered now to be like a year. So that's unlike what we're saying when it comes to Arla, that it's only a month. So Rabbi Lezer Omer ben Esrim v'arba chaydesh, the par has to be 24 months, v'lamid yoim, which sounds a lot like our Mishnah. What we said before regarding Arla. Whenever it talks about an egel, stam ben shana. It's an egel, a calf is a year less than a year old. Ben bakar is ben shtayim, a bakar is 2, and then par is ben shalish, has to be 3. So again, l'chayra Mishnah is not like the sheet of Rabbi Meir, or this concept of Arla. Okay, if you'll take Rabbi Meir. The only time he says this is at the end. So you end up having 2 years. And then the 3rd year, which is 1 day, so now that's considered to be you're into your 3rd year, which is kind of like what we do with birthdays. When a person celebrates their birthday, let's say they turn 13, they're really 13 years and 1 day, which means they're, as some people allude to in the first Mishnah in Pesachim, Arbel Arbasar. It's referring to you're going into your 14th year. So that's an element almost like Yom Echad B'Shana Chash Hashana. Maybe he wouldn't say this din when it comes to B'Tchil Hashana. In other words, when we're going to start counting Arla, we plant in the ground, who says that we're going to start it at this point as 1 day is a year? Maybe even he'll agree it's a month. Okay. So Omer Rava, so he says V'lav Kavachaymer who? Ma nida. When it comes to a nida, shein tchilas hayoyim ola b'saifa. When it comes to the beginning, it does not go up for her at the end. So sav hayom ola b'tchilasa, but the end of the day will go up in the beginning. So shanish yom echad ola b'saifa. So a year in which we see that it works at the end, like when it comes to a par, as we continue Amid Beis, it should certainly work by Arla. So we know like this. We see that by Dam Nida. We say that we only say the concept of Mixus Yoim on her first day. So as long as she sees on the first day a few minutes before, so that already counts as her first day of seeing Dam. So we see when it comes to already, it's true when it comes to Nida that we count at the beginning. But we don't say this on the last day of Nida. So the end is actually more strict, more chomer than the beginning. So the fact that Nida, Chilas Hayoim, it doesn't work at the end, but Seifa Om Ola Chilasa, as we said at the beginning of your sing Dam, that constitutes as a day. So we see that if it works, it doesn't always work at night, but it certainly works at the beginning. It doesn't always work at the end, but it certainly works at the beginning. So over here we see this concept that it works at the end, again as we see when it comes to the par. So then certainly we should say this din when it comes to the to Arul as well, and therefore should be 1 day. And therefore he's not like our Mishnah. So where it says the Elomai, Rabbi Lezer Shloishim Ushloishim boy, he actually would require 60 days. When Rabbi Lezer says 30 days, it really should be 60. Says Rashi, Shloishim boy, Lamed Yoim Likatia, 30 days Shetehei Nishreres B'Aretz, for it to be able to take root in the ground. Ushloishim Yoim L'Chashiva Shana, and then another 30 days. So according to this, the reality is it's not as we thought it was. Machlokas of it being a day or a month, or as we're going to say also Shtei Shabbosais. The truth is there's an additional 30 days because in order for Shvius, Tosefes Shvius is only after the Kalita, after it's already rooted in the ground, which is which again, assuming that you have this 30 days, right? So then you have the question again of it's not 30, it's 30 plus 30, so it's really 60. So Ditnan, ein noitin ve'ein markivin ve'ein markivin, Shvius Pachsmul Amid Yom Lifnei Rosh Hashanah, as we said before. Yim Nata, but let's say you did plant v'hivrech, you bent the branch down, v'hirchiv, grafted, Yakor, as we said, you have to uproot it. Dibur Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Kol Arkava Sheinu Koletas Begimel Yomim, if it doesn't catch in 3 days, Shuvin Koletas. Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Shimon Omer Shtei Shabbos, as we said, it's 2 weeks. The Omer Rav Nachman Omer Rabbi Morabua, L'Divi Omer Lamed, one who says 30 days, Sarach Lamed Ushloishim. You actually need 30 and another 30. L'Divi Omer Shloisha Sarach Shloisha Shloishim. You actually need 30 and 3. L'Divi Omer Beis Shabbosos Sarach Shtei Shabbosos Ushloishim Yom. The Inami Rabbi Yehuda Svirle Gimel Shloishim Boy. If in fact you want to say he holds like Rabbi Yehuda, then it should be Gimel Shloishim Boy. It should be 33 days. So because if in fact he says the point is 3 days, so you can't say it's the Shita of Rabbi Eliezer because he would hold 60 days, but from the time you planted it, because again it takes 30 days, and then the whole question of from that point on. El Olam Rameir. Really, our Mishnah, this statement of Arla can actually be Rameir. V'chi Kaimer Lamid L'Kalita. When he mentions this, when it's mentioned about the 30 days, it's just for it to take root. But Rameir will still hold that there's an additional day. Ihachi Rabbi Eliezer. Ihachi, if that's true, Lamid Aleph Boy, it should actually be 31 days. It shouldn't be 30. So Kasavar Yom Lamed Oilakan Lakan. That the 30th days goes both ways. Says Rashi, Shtei Yom Kodim Rosh Hashana, Chashul Hashana, Rishayna Shel Arla Kedetani Ola Hashana. So he said it goes both ways. Omer Rabbi Yochanan, Mishnei Mikra Chadarsha, V'hi Ba'achas V'sheish Meya Shana. Regarding the Mabul, it says it was on the 601st day, Barishayin Be'echad L'Chaydish, on the first of the month. Rameir Savar, Midekati Yom Echad Hu, the Ayel B'Shana V'Kakari Le'Shana. The fact that he counts it as though it's a new year already, Shema Mina Yom Echad B'Shana Chash Hashana. The fact that it's only 1 day and almost then it talks about a new year, it must be that because 1 day is considered already to be like a year. It says Rashi, L'Seif Ashti Aser Chaydish, after 12 months, Shehiskil Mabul Erid, from the time that the rain fell, V'Divrei Omer B'Tishrei Nivra Oilam V'Mabul Yerid B'Yud Zayin B'Mar Cheshvan. It's a very lengthy Rashi over here. So the whole machlok is exactly when the Mabul took place. Ayin Rashi. Then you would be right, and then maybe you could derive 1 day as like a year. It's just saying that it was the beginning of the first. That's all it's coming to say. So you can't derive that 1 day is like a year based on this pasuk. Rabbi Eliezer, my time, the Chsibarisha Be'echad L'Chaydish, Midakati Yom Echad Hu the Ayel B'Chaydish, V'Kakari L'Chaydish, Mamini Yom Echad B'Chaydish Chashav Shana. So we see that 1 day of Yom Echad B'Chaydish is Chashav Shana. 1 day sometimes is considered like a month. But Yom Echad B'Chaydish Chashav Shana, Lamed Yom Shana Chashav Shana. So if we're talking about 1 day to a month is like a month, so therefore he'll say, so too 1 month to a year is a year. Chashav Shana. B'Chaydish L'Menuya V'Shana L'Menuya. That a month according to its units, and a year according to its units. So we're going to stop. But again, if you count a month, how do you count it? By days. So we count years by months. So really 30 days or a month counts as a year. So that's how he understands this. Okay, we're going to stop here. Let's see a couple questions. Question 1. Leinin ma husker b'sugyin the east le ramer yom echad b'shana chashav shana. Where do we find he says 1 day is a year? One has to do with counting the years of Arla. And second of all, regarding the apar, which has to be 3 years, as long as it's 2 years in 1 day. Question 2. The kama chodashim, how many months? Ochol pachlis mishkachas laheter netiya mishum arla. Do we say that you're allowed to plant it? It's not an issue of arla. If you hold 2 weeks, it takes 2 weeks to do the klita for the roots to absorb, to get in there. And shloishim yom mashana chashashana, 30 days is like a year. So b'shloishim chadashim achol pachos, we would say it would be 30. It would be 30 months. Hanoteya b'tu b'av. Let's say a person plants on Tu b'av, on Tu b'av. Shezehu zman l'klita. That's the time that it catches. L'hachshiv lamid yoyim b'shana. And now, because of that, it'll be 30 days that have gone by. Hari chaydish v'chetzi. That's a month and a half. Ha'isiv esim v'arba chaydish l'tashim gimel shanim. You need another 24 months to add to it. The oid arba v'chatzi chadashim. You have to wait another 4.5 months. Ad Tu b'shvat sachakol shloishim. So therefore, according to that opinion, it is 30. Okay, it's a difficult question, but nonetheless, that was the question. Question TA24. Kami yomim konim Rosh Hashana. How many days before Rosh Hashana? Also in Toa mishum kalita gimel shitais. The kami yomim mishum toisefes. So there's 3 shitas. Either it's 1 day, 2 weeks, or a month is or gimel yomim. Either yom echad, 1. Sorry, I'm not reading it properly. Lamed yom, 30 days, 2 weeks, or 3 days. And the Tosefes is either lamed yom or yom echad, either 30 days or, according to Rameir, one day. Question TB26. The Divri Ha'amrim lamed yom l'kalita takes 30 days. Kamazman kan Rosh Hashana sarach l'netiya kadei shial level Rosh Hashana shana rishon shel arla. TB26. So he says, Rabbi Lezer shloishim l'kalita, 30 for the taking root, shloishim l'chashiv shana, and 30 for it to count as a month, for a year. We make kalita in oil d'olkan the menuach bebeis adami. Rameir, so according to one opinion, it's 30 plus 30, which is 60. According to Rameir, shloishim yoim, just 30 days. Because shloishim l'kalita b'yom echad b'shana chash shana yom acharon oil l'kan l'kan. So therefore, it's not, even though it would be 30, it's actually there's 3 shitas. It would be 60, 30, possibly again 30. According to Rameir, would be 30, seemingly 1, but because he says Yom Echad B'Shana Chashav Shana, but according to him, it's Oyel L'Kan L'Kan, so therefore it's just 30 days.